Hi everyone, welcome to the Mygate self-help video on how to raise bulk invoices. In this tutorial, we will walk you through the process of generating invoices for all flats. With our new update, you can preview your invoice design side by side as you customize your template. Let's start. Once you've logged into the Mygate web dashboard using your credentials, you can navigate to the Accounts tab, click on Invoicing, and then select the Raise Invoice option. Click on the Create Template option on the top right side of your screen. Now, the amazing part of the view page you are seeing is you will be able to see how your invoice is going to look like in real time as you customize your template. Let's begin the template creation process. Under the invoice description section, you can give a heading to the invoice. Let's enter maintenance charges here. Our recommendation would be to not enter any specific month since we have a separate section for that. Under the billing period, you can enter the month for which the invoice is being raised. Let's enter the month as August. Under the billing cycle option, you can select your billing cycle as required from the given options. This helps in area-based charges calculation and GST exemptions. You can select the receiving account number under the beneficiary account section. Whenever any resident makes payment using the Mygate app, the money would be deposited to the selected account number. We also have an option of changing the invoice sequence and advance ledger if required. Moving on, you can see the option of adding a penalty and show arrears on the invoice. If you want to add a penalty to the invoice or show previous arrears, you can select the required option here. On the right side of your screen, you can see how the preview would look like. Click on Save and add invoice item. Next you can enable the GST settings as per your society's requirement. Next step would be to create invoice line item. In the description section, you can add the item name. Let's keep it maintenance charge. Under the item account section, you can select the ledger you want to map this line item to. Under the item type, you can select how you want the calculation to be. Enter the HSN code if applicable. Under the applicable member section, you can select the towers or flats you want to raise the invoice for. All flats and towers are pre-selected here by default. Similarly, you can add multiple line items like utility, electricity, and so on. Once you have added all the line items, click on Save and enter footer details. Next up, you can configure the advanced adjustment settings and other details. Once this is done, please enter the footer notes. You can add general instructions in this section. Let's keep it as please pay before the due date. Once this is done, click on Save and View Summary. On the right side of your screen, you can view how the invoice would look like. Once you have reviewed this, you can click on the Create Template option. Your invoice template has successfully been created. For more information, refer to adminfaq.mygate.com. Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Mygate Invoicing Part 2. In the previous video, we went through the process of template creation. Now, the next step is amount configuration. Let's start. Once you have created the invoice template as per your requirement, click on the Update Amount and select the Fill Amount option. The next step is amount configuration. The first part of the process is adding the invoice period, which refers to the duration for which the invoice is being generated. Then select the invoice date and due date. This is set to the current date by default but can be edited as required. If penalty is applicable, select the next fine processing date. This is the date from which the penalty will start getting added to all the unpaid invoices. Now let's move on to the input amount section. Here, you will see the list of all the line items you have added while creating the template. You can either use the bulk upload option to update the amount for all the invoice items together or individually upload the amount by selecting the upload option against each line item. To input the amount manually, select the Enter Manually option. You can either input the amount one at a time or use the Quick Fill option to upload the amount for all flats. Once you select the Quick Fill option, the next step is to select the input method. First is the same amount for all, where you can keep the same amount for all the flats. Next is the amount based on resident type, where we can input different amount for users. Lastly, we have amount based on house type, where you can input the amount based on the BHK type of a flat. Let us use the same amount for all and enter the amount as 5,000. To add description to the invoice, add the required text in the additional description section. You can also select the quick fill option, choose the required setting, enter the description and click on save to bulk add the description for all the flats. Once you have added the details in this page, click on the save option. You can similarly add amount for all line items. Once you are done, you can verify the total invoice amount with the count of houses. Click on the next option to proceed with invoice generation. In this screen, you can preview the actual invoice and verify if the details are correct. We also have an option to search specific flat numbers in this screen. Once the details are verified, click on the next option. Now, you will be redirected to the invoice generation summary screen. You can do a final verification here to ensure the details are added correctly and also configure invoice notification setting. With the new invoicing flow, we have added measures to ensure the invoice goes through multiple checks before generation to avoid the scope of any manual error. You can see two options on your screen, publish now and publish later. If you select the publish now option, the invoice will be generated and sent immediately to residents. With the publish later option, you can do a final check of the invoice before sending it to the residents. If you select this option, the invoice will be generated and visible in the invoice history section. However, it will not be sent to any resident until the admin manually publishes the invoice. For verification, you can click on the batch ID in the invoice history screen. Verify any invoice to check and ensure the details are correct. You can also download this in Excel and cross-check the amount as required. Once verified, please click on the publish button to send it to the residents. With this, the invoice generation process is successful. Thank you.